station, everybody. Happy Whiplash Wednesday. It's your boy Brandon.
Stefan.
And welcome back to Christ on Infinite Rants. Today, what we are going to be talking about, we're going to be talking about Marvel's next generation of heroes, what they're going to be doing in the comics, how we foresee certain characters rising above others, where they may fit in respect to, let's say, the more traditional hero, let's say like Kate Bishop to Clint Barton's Hawkeye, right? How we see those roles being changed, which characters could we see blowing up because the MCU is also going with that route. It's going to be a fun video. I'm really excited to be here. Steph, how are you doing today?
Good. I'm not sure people know we pre-record this, so it is Tuesday night. So I'm tired, but I'm great. I'm glad to be here.
I'm so tired. I was supposed to have tomorrow off. My manager's like, nope, you got to come in and train. And I'm just like, all right. And I've worked 2 13-hour shifts today and yesterday. I'm like, yo, it's time for Obi-Wan, bro. Like, I need my Wednesdays off. That's where I just watch Obi-Wan all day.
Yeah, I wish that came out sooner so we could
talk about it.
Cover that, yeah.
Right? That would be so dope. We do like an episode every week, but can't do that because they drop it Wednesdays, and this comes out on Wednesdays.
Yeah.
But anyway, you guys, make sure y'all checking out the PCP Army Bad Badge dropping all day today. Whiplash Wednesdays back in full fashion. Hit the like, hit the subscribe button for future content that we are going to be doing at some point. That I'm going to be working on some things. Just got to get some free times up. But anyway, comment down below. Who's your favorite next generation hero? Would love to hear from you guys. Steph, who do you think is the highest potential? Let's start there.
Like, I think the easiest answer is Miles, clearly. Then possibly Kate Bishop. She seems to be the next line in breeding.
I mean, Kamala Khan too. I mean, you can't not discount her with her MCU presence as well. They're gonna push that in the comics.
See that Kamala Khan is different in the aspect of like Kate Bishop does the whole trick bow and arrow and stuff. Just like Clint. Miles has spider powers just like Peter. Various differences like the Venom Sting, the Venom Blast, whatever Miles has, and he can turn invisible. Camouflage.
And he can jump higher.
What happened?
I said, and he can like jump higher. Like in the Spider-Verse.
Oh yeah.
It was a reference for when Andrew Garfield jumped, and it was terrible.
X-23. Once again, she's got a minute difference, but she's essentially the same. Kamala Khan doesn't really have the power set as Carol Danvers, but she is, the young Miss Marvel, but their power set is completely different. But yeah, that minute difference.
I mean, but it's
potential-wise, I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm not the biggest Kamala Khan fan. I have nothing against her, but it's not someone I really read that I was like, yeah, I've got to really follow her. She seems like a great character. Marvel's definitely pushing her, but in terms of potential, I mean, she could, because maybe I'm a little ignorant in her background or the character itself, so I can't speak on her potential because I don't really know her. But to me, I don't see her coming to the terms of like Miles or.
But
she's up there.
It's kind of funny because when Marvel was doing like the all new, all different, and Nova got his own series, Amadeus Cho got his own series, Kamala Khan got their own series. I mean, Miles had his own series at this point. We got
and they were in the Avengers.
Yeah. I mean, we got the Vision book, but that was more surrounded by like the family, not necessarily Viv. But it's kind of funny because Kamala Khan was the one that got like the best reviews, right? But no one necessarily cared about it. Like, she had a very loyal fan base, but it didn't really attract anyone outside of people that would be drawn to her. I don't know if you can say the same about like a Miles Morales or about Miles or Nova, right? Because I feel like they're more user-friendly characters. I'm not knocking Kamala at all, but it's also like her power set. Her power set, I can just pick up Fantastic Four for a way better story, right?
That is one thing I'm very curious about them, because we know they're gonna execute it differently in the show. I'm curious to see how they do that and how it translates to the comics, because I feel like once the show comes out, they're gonna emulate that in the comics.
She just had a miniseries. Before that, she had like a 40-issue arc. So it's like, I'm not surprised if they bring her back and they decide to change it by just doing a complete revamp of the character. We've seen them do it before.
It happened to Carol Danvers.
Yeah, it happened to Carol Danvers. I mean, we've basically seen this with almost like I don't want to say Kate yet, but she is getting that attention to where I could see them going down that road. But
They're
I think
trying to
her.
be
I
like
think
step out
Miss
of Hawkeye's
Marvel's young
shadow.
enough though. Miss Marvel's young enough, but I would
You
like to
know,
see
do you
Shield
mean
come back.
do you mean
Kamala.
Kate stepping out of Hawkeye's shadow?
Yeah, yeah. I think they're making her like they're trying to bring her back into like West Coast Avenger style, right?
Okay.
So it was
Okay.
like kind of that's like Clint's shadows though.
Yeah, yeah.
I think
Well,
everything but the
yeah.
Ronin and the depressing parts, and then everything else will stay the same.
Damn it! I was just gonna, I really had to. I can't believe I had to think about it, but I was like, yeah. Well, I was like, well, West Coast Avengers was more of Kate wanting to do her thing, but then that was the whole OG West Coast Avengers was Clint was like, yo,
Yeah, I was
I'm
like,
gonna go do my own thing, man.
I just want her to just be. I just want her and Jessica Jones to team up, like for real. Like I just want that to happen.
That would be a
Just
great team up.
yeah, just because I think like comedically it would pay off too, but narratively it'll be like more. Okay, it'd be like Kate learning the streets
They
almost. You
have
know
very similar personalities, her and
exactly.
Jessica. Yeah.
Jessica's a little bit more abrasive. She's a little bit more
No, no,
like
that's what I'm saying. They're
yeah,
they're in the aspect that they'll both confront a situation. Like they're not
yeah.
afraid to confront a situation. But Jessica Jones is way more upfront and blunt.
Honestly, that would be the next Heroes for Hire. I would love to see.
That would not be bad.
Yo, did we just do something?
Even though I want it to be so much tied to like, oh, you got Jessica, she's tied to Luke. I would want it tied to Danny, but I
Yeah,
would not
but
mind that. I wouldn't
Danny's
mind
no
that.
longer
Yeah.
the Iron Fist. Danny's no longer the Iron Fist.
What
But this
is
is also
that? We'll see
we could
how
be talking 10 years from now, right?
this is a
We could be
holdover.
talking, yeah.
Yes. Yeah,
I mean,
I that new Iron Fist stuff I'm not. So I
I'm
almost
not
think it's
sold.
I almost feel like it's even more. I don't want to get into it,
It's weird. It's a
but
weird book too. I like Alyssa Wong. Alyssa Wong is a great writer. Great things on Dr. Afra right now. But that Iron
yeah,
Fist story is just like so not needed. I don't care enough.
right,
And
right.
this character's not going to be used anywhere else. I'm sorry.
That you said it best. Not necessary. Like it's just not. No one was asking
It's
for it right now.
cool.
Like yeah, like
It's
it's
cool. Great. Not now though.
right, right.
Not
There's
now
too much
though.
going on to begin with. Is he a younger
He's
character? Because I haven't read
like
it,
a
but I know of.
teenager. He's like a little
Okay,
teenage punk. Yeah, he's like no.
so
He's an emo. He's like an emo punk kid from like I don't know. He's like just trying to.
you
He's
read
just
Immortal
trying to
Iron
get far.
Fist though, right?
Yeah, of
Matt
course,
Fraction's
bro.
greatness. Remember him and Orson Randall were both sharing the chi at the same time, so
Yeah,
Danny could be like that. That would be kind of cool.
but
But no,
yeah, you're retired. It's just like I don't know if they're gonna change that. I really hope they do.
yeah,
But
I get it. They're trying to correct it, but it's kind of like I don't
yeah,
want to say it's too late. But it's just like Danny. He's a cool. I enjoy Danny as a character. I think he's a great character. I don't think he needs to be written out of because yeah, I get what they're trying to do, but there's still room for Danny as well.
yeah. I mean, you can still include him, right? Keep him in the States or
Yeah,
something. But it's like don't let him give up all the way, or you can act as a mentor. That's
yeah,
something that
that's
Marvel
what I'm
doesn't
saying.
do enough.
Yes,
Is they don't have like that mentorship thing anymore, right? Maybe
exactly.
they'd be able to have successful Champions books if they treated almost like the old like. Remember that Ultimate Spider-Man show where like Nick Fury was training everybody?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
imagine if, like they did
Cage and
champions like that, and it was like someone actually overshadowing these kids, and they just let them run free for all. Do you know how much better the champions book would be right now?
I would
Or if they
agree.
ever had it, if they decided to bring it back and not let Danny Lure mess it up again, or Evo Ewing, who's supposed to have all this potential and just drop the ball. Sorry, but if Marvel actually wants to pay attention, they need to put a seminal character
Like Young
on.
Justice style.
Yeah, yeah, like with Red Tornado, kind of. Yeah,
Yes, yes,
exactly.
yes. I think that would be so dope.
I
That
think
would,
that would
yeah.
be dope. You know, make it even. I know I don't like her, and I've said I don't like her several times. Make Maria Hill like that person, or
Really, Maria Hill?
Carol Danvers could be that person, right? Maria Hill, I
Carol
could.
Danvers, they're gonna keep her as Cat Marvel. I think she's almost becoming like a Wolverine, where she just put anywhere they need her to be at any given time. So I would prefer Maria Hill. Like make a character that kind of fits that. I get see
Yeah,
what route you're going for, but who's kind of needs
Black Widow.
the shine. Black Widow would be great, but
Black
she would
Widow.
be very
Yeah,
she's a super. I like Maria Hill just because she's not a superhero. Like even
yeah.
though
Or
Black
Quake,
Widow
or
is not.
bro, honestly, Quake could be seminal enough.
Quake. I know. See that? Yeah, her and sadly her. Anytime I think of Quake or Maria Hill, I think of them synonymously. Because they
Both of
look
them,
so much alike.
bro.
The
Both
only,
of them.
but oh,
Both
that
of
would
them.
be dope as hell. Yes.
That would be freaking amazing. Because then you can still combine, like you can bring back some shield stuff. You can be like, oh yeah, this guy this guy somehow survived, right? Come on,
Yeah.
like that'd be so dope. And that also gives Captain America a reason to get involved with the team. It's just you have that availability too.
And it would be like a callback to the Secret Warriors. Because so
Yeah.
Maria Hill could be the top dog. Then you have Quake. She's the one leading the squad, just like Secret Warriors. But she's essentially training the next squad of Avengers or superheroes.
Yeah, that would be so dope.
Yeah, I would read the shit out of that book.
I would love that, bro. I mean, wow, look what we just did. We just pitched Kate Bishop and Jessica Jones and all
Heroes for Hire.
Heroes for Hire champions.
And now it's a champion. I was gonna say we could go different routes with that.
Right. That would be so dope. Now, who do you want to write that though? Like, who do you think could have like that kind of youth in them to bring that in? Like, I mean, Hickman's not gonna write it again.
No.
Hickman.
So what would this be, like a champions book or?
I think it could be like. I think Secret Warriors. You can still make that a little bit kid friendly if you're trying to leave it, because technically it's still secret, right? You don't really need to call them champions. I think champions is a dumb name anyway.
And even because Hickman's Secret Warriors was a little bit more darker, but then Rosenberg had his version of Secret Warriors of like 2017 with the Inhumans and stuff. And that was
the New Warriors, which we didn't even see print. Yeah, I didn't even see. Bro, they saw the promos.
Issue 1 didn't even come out.
No, they canceled. They saw the promos. They said, "Fuck it, no."
Those were. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm all for inclusion, but those were characters. Like those weren't even characters. They were like stereotypes of things. Like they weren't a good representation.
No. That's like first class pandering, and it's just like.
I didn't even know if it was pandering. I think even the people they're trying to pander to, the community they're trying to pander to, was offended by those characters.
Exactly.
Yeah,
like, no, they said fuck that, and they pulled that. They retracted that thing faster than they gave like that Iron Man role. The Bucky. No, not Bucky. Wow, I did not say Bucky. Rhodey. Yeah.
What happened?
Never mind. I tried to make a reference and it didn't work.
No, I thought there's a new Iron Man suit I missed out on or something.
No, like the Iron Man, like the role of Iron of.
When Terrence Howard got okay, your dad joke. It's all right though. It's a good one.
I stumbled over my words too much.
But who would we write that? If we're going with like the champions route, I think an easy shoe would be Kelly Thompson, since she did West Coast.
And she did that well.
She did. I don't think the book got long. I think it could have went longer. I would have wanted to see that go longer. I'm a big fan of her. She did a brief stint on A-Force. It was like 3 issues, but it was a really dope. She's got a good energy for stuff like that, and especially like team banter and things like that. So I would say Kelly Thompson.
Right.
Who would you go for?
This is somebody. Kelly Thompson's great. I think she's very solid. She's definitely capable, bro. Like she writes the shit out of Captain Marvel, who is also a SHIELD agent. So you also got to know that part of her personality.
And the longest run Captain Marvel's had in recent years. So
I think of all time, because Claremont was only on that book for I think like 30 issues.
I was just gonna say,
I think she surpassed Claremont, but it's like. Still, what she's done with Captain Marvel is like something to be proud of, for sure. For sure. I would really, and I'm not the biggest fan of this guy, but I would like to see Zeb Wells give it a go.
I love Zeb Wells.
I like Hellions. I like Hellions. Hellions is my favorite book by him, which is what prompts this. Except, I have a hard time. I think he writes better teams than he does singular characters.
I'll give you that.
Sometimes he gets too deep into the character where there's too much character, no story. That's the vibe I'm getting from a Spider-Man right now. And I know it's only 2 issues in, but even when he wrote Spider-Man back then, I still thought his Spider-Man was almost way too much introspect and not in a story, which that's just a balance of priorities. There's nothing wrong with that. But a team book gives him like, okay, I have more people to worry about.
Yeah, it's funny you say him, because the books I am thinking of when I think of when you say you don't really like Zeb Wells that much, the ones I want to recommend you or like New Warriors with Scotty Young, like more team based stuff.
Yeah.
Like but it's funny you say that he's introspective with the Spider-Man stuff. I feel like that's might be something new he's trying, because it's not the first time he's written Spider-Man. He was part of the brain trust with Beyond, right? And then
he was with
even back with
Beyond, even back with
Brand New Day.
Brand New Day. He was brain
Yep.
trust in that.
Yep.
He was
And
like,
his issues, I remember, were some of the funnier, quippier
yeah.
ones. Maybe I could be because it's like this is his first time in the big leagues almost, that he's not big leagues, but Spider-Man is like
you're on ASM, bro. You're big leagues. You're big leagues. If you write ASM,
right,
you're guaranteed career, bro. Come on.
no, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's first time on a big title like that, like the Marvel title. So maybe he's really trying to approach things differently from his different MO. Like, it could be intimidating. Yeah. But no, yeah, I
but
agree
he's also
with
with
you.
JR, so it's like that shit. I mean, you're also with JR, so it's like there's only so much that JR as an artist can do, because he can't do like all those creative flippy panels. There's a reason why if you look at JR panels, they're so structured for a way that the easy way possible.
Yeah, but even his stuff with Straczynski was different than what it was traditional, but it's different than.
Well, he can't draw the way he did with JMS. He can't draw the way he did Daredevil back in like the 80s. He can't do that shit anymore.
Yeah, sadly, I know it just hurts because.
Yeah, but it looks good. It's some of JR's best work in recent years, so it's like I'm excited for that.
I was glad to see him return. I think that was something that rejuvenated him personally.
With Spider-Man, yeah, for sure. That's his favorite character.
Okay, I didn't know that.
But yeah, as far as writers, I'm going with Zeb Wells, honestly.
Yeah, he definitely writes a great team book.
And after Hellions, it's like he got dark. He got dark with Sinister at some point. So it was almost like the humor was dark, but it was like kind of like the psychedelics of it, almost like in a Joker sense sometimes. So
it was definitely had dark humor, bro. Like it was essentially like, it was like
it was got pretty messed up. For real.
Yeah, they were Suicide Squad pretty much. Like they were the discards. No one cared about them. Like, you guys go do the dirty shit. Like Sinister.
Yeah. Other than that, when it comes to pushing characters, I'm always gonna say Jerry Dugan. I'll always say Jerry Dugan. I think Jerry Dugan has some of the best knowledge, like character wise. I think his way of connecting with characters just is unmatched right now. And the fact that every character has their own distinct voice in his dialogue is unmatched, and no other writer compares to Jerry Dugan when it comes to writing dialogue like that.
I want to dispute that, but it's like I maybe I'm not read enough Dugan, but I will say that I've noticed that he's good at picking up a title that's pretty prolific and taking the reins. And it's hard to take a title over from a big writer, a big creative team, and kind of make it your own, while keeping the voice intact of the previous run. Because people hate when it's just like this doesn't seem like the book I was reading last month. Like, this is some totally different. Like, people like that cohesiveness. But I have seen Dugan do that like 2 times. I'm sure he's done it more than twice, but the 2 times I've witnessed was with Uncanny Avengers with Rick Remender. When he ended, Jerry picked up the reins from that, made it his own book. It was actually a very fantastic run. And then with most recently Hickman and X-Men, he's
right.
I'm a little behind. I'm right up to like issue 5 or 6, but like, once again, he took someone else's, like, he's still in Hickman's world essentially, but he's still crafting his own
narrative. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So that I will give him that much credit. He's
he's great. He is.
I'm gonna have to read more from Dugan. See, I stayed away from him for the longest time because I'm not a big Deadpool fan, and I know he wrote Deadpool for a few years. Like, when I kept
Deadpool's really good.
His Deadpool.
Yeah, and I don't really read Deadpool like that. It was really good.
Okay, I'll check that out. I only stayed away because I'm not a fan of Deadpool. Like, I don't hate him, but I'm not like a Deadpool stan like a lot of people. So that's why that's where I knew his name from, because it was like 2015 when I was taking a small 4-year break, and when I came back in like 2015, Dugan was like handling like Deadpool and just coming on Uncanny Avengers.
Yeah. Yeah. His Deadpool was he kind of defined Deadpool. He gave Deadpool like a life. I want to say it wasn't all just humor. I mean, it ended like
Right.
it was funny as shit, but it was also like telling a story too. I really appreciated that book, and I really hate Deadpool books. I really do.
Yeah,
Like whenever I see them on the stand, I'm just like shaking my head at the person who
it's an
puts it up.
immediate
It's just
pass.
like I'm like, yeah, no, like I can't do it personally. But other than that, we talked about Kate. We talked about Kamala Khan a little bit. I want to talk about who do you think is the most underrated that will blow up? Like, who's your sleeper?
I don't think I want to say X-23. I don't think she's
Really?
underrated though, but
I think
I'm
she's
big.
still underrated. I would still say she's underrated. On the Wolverine is one of the most underrated Tom Taylor books. Actually, it is the most underrated Tom Taylor books, right next to his Darth Maul. But
I'll go with Darth Maul. I Tom Taylor's New Wolverine. Like I remember I collected it up until like the Weapon X art, and I was just like I wasn't vibing with it for whatever reason. It was like hit or miss for me, and I dropped it. And when he put her in that dark gray and black
they
costume,
took David Lopez off the book at that time, wasn't it?
yes. And once they did the art change, that's when I came back. I was like, okay, it's picking up. But then they ended it a few months later, so
Yeah.
yeah. But I have to go back and read it in totality. But yeah, uh, I still want to read this Darth Maul. That was Redondo, right?
Yeah, that was their first team up. Um, on my end, who I would have to go with, I'm actually going with Nova, bro. Nova's my most underrated character. I have a feeling once Sam Alexander, I guarantee will make his MCU appearance before he ever gets that big comic push, and that'll just bring in more fans to his character. I just think the whole vibe of him, the energy that he gives off, right, is so great, and it's just so positive. He's just a positive guy, Sam is
I don't
young
like too
enough
much Sam.
to carry that
Besides him,
energy.
but
I think he has a lot of potential, right? And there are a lot of like Latino kids that kind of need to look up to a character like that.
oh, is he
Yeah, Sam
Latin?
Alexander's
Oh, I
Latino.
did not know that.
Um,
Wow.
Sam Alexander's Latino. Um, so or at least he's half. He's either half or he's full. But um, yeah, he's such a cool character. I just think once he hits the big screens, people will fall in love with him. I think that he's almost kind of like the Human Torch, kind of with like the swagger he brings to a book and just his presence in
His
comics. I
energy and
think it's
stuff.
just it's great. I love him. Plus, he has a dope design.
I've only read him in the I oddly enough had like his first appearance, but it's not on spec. I think it was just in that one of those Marvel 1 shots that was giving you a bunch of different stories at the time. And I know he showed up in Avengers versus X-Men. I think it was issues 1 or issue
Right.
0. But I was collecting it for that. But beyond that, I've only read him in Wade's all new, all different Avengers. And yeah, I know he has a following though. But I've never got to read it myself, so I can't really speak on him. But I do know he has a solid following.
I don't think he's Latino. I just looked it up. I don't think he's Latino. I thought he was. I don't know. I'm gonna have to correct
Are you
that.
thinking of Robbie Reyes?
No, but I do think Robbie has a lot. But I thought Sam was
Yes.
Latino for like the longest. I think he still
I
have.
I thought he was based off of Jeff Loeb's son because isn't I know Loeb
Yes,
created
his
him.
mother is Latina. His
Oh
mother's
really?
Latina. He's half. Boom.
Okay. But Jeff
Oh,
Loeb
I
created him,
remember.
right?
Yeah, Jeff Loeb created him.
I know. Okay, yeah, I know his son's name was Sam.
Yeah, and the dad's an alcoholic.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah.
That would make for an interesting movie then. I would want them to incorporate Richard Rider though. I just feel like
That would be dope. But honestly, it's like what they should do with all of that is the Nova movie or whenever Nova appears, there should be like an Annihilation type shit, especially that you can use Annihilus. You have no excuse now, right?
this is
You
true.
should do Annihilation in the MCU. It is such a that was the
I think they
perfect
can get.
time. Annihilation is
Yeah,
probably now Annihilation is not my favorite Marvel book. I don't think it is nowhere near structurally, critically one of the best books. Nowhere near, but it is the most epic.
It's fun.
It's the most epic event, right?
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
There's a lot of action, and the art just reflects all of that. That's just really what it is. It's a big space. It's a big ass space battle where a lot of people die.
Yeah.
Right, and you got to see who dies and who makes it out and what changes. That's Annihilation. Right. Yeah. So it's just epic. It is so epic. It is not my, and a lot of people kind of confuse that on what is the best event. Some people be like, it is the best event. You're wrong. Get out of here. It's epic.
I mean, if that's what they're looking for in an event, then yeah, but I mean, I guess different things, because I love House of M, but some people don't really like House of M.
If we're talking about like how epic an event is, I'll say a Messiah Complex in recent X-Men is the most epic.
And like
past what 20 years, I would say.
Are you talking just event or like X-Men story?
I'm talking like events. Like Messiah Complex is probably the most epic event, like just action wise. Or War of Kings. War of Kings is epic, bro. War of Kings.
I've gaps in War Kings, bro. I gotta go back and read that. I'll give you Messiah Complex was very nonstop, high octane action. Like the momentum was just building every issue. Always a great cliffhanger. But I'm so fond of like House of M. Because I really like how I'm a big fan of alternate reality stories at the end, at the end of the day. It reminded me of a lot of Age of Apocalypse. And we got to see I guess we knew there was going to be a reset button, but the stakes were so high that the whole reality was changed. I don't know. That's up there for me. Secret Wars, once again, that has to do with reality changing.
I just think the whole point of House of M is that the whole reality was changed by one person fucking up the whole world because she was that depressed, right? Was just not that depressed. Maybe that's like that. I don't want to say, but not in touch with herself, She was over, she was just like over the edge, One person on a bad day where she lost it all. Or thought she thought she lost it all, so she destroyed the world. In her mind. With her mind. Like that to me is just insane, bro.
Oh yeah. And we got Messiah Complex from House of M. So
it all comes together, I guess. Other characters we could possibly go over. I mean, we got Viv. Maybe.
I think Amadeus Cho. They need to figure out what they want to do with him. Because at one point they were just trying to push for years. They're just trying to push him as Amadeus Cho, one of the smartest people in the world. Then around 2015, it was Totally Awesome Hulk came out, and now he's like Hulk. He was always like Hulk's friend and protege, or Bruce Banner's protege.
Now he's like the blonde.
It's like he's Hulk Jr. and that hasn't really hit, but I still think he has potential. But I think they just need to really emphasize on his intelligence. Like,
there's just no point for him. There's no point. You have Betty Brant, who's like a siren, like hellhound almost. I forget like what they're really calling her, but like she can act in that. You have Bruce, you have She-Hulk, you have Red Hulk, you have the leader was back at the end of Immortal. So it's like you already have enough Hulks. Plus, like if Bruce Banner's immortal, like you don't need him. You have enough smart people. You're not calling on Amadeus Cho.
With Cho,
Riri is smarter. Franklin Richards
but they used to show that we haven't. They're just saying Riri's smarter. We haven't seen it. Amadeus Cho used to, even in Hickman's Avengers run, like he was when they were fighting against each other. He was like helping the what do you want to call it? It was essentially like the Civil War era again, where it was like the government section team against the outlaw team. He was like helping the outlaw team, but as a human, before he did the whole Totally Awesome Hulk stuff, he was like a Karnak mixed with a MacGyver. Like he was so smart, he could see the flaw or the structural. He could see how if I hit this or flick this with that, he could see like the domino chain effect. He could map out different scenarios in his head because, I'm sure other intelligent characters could do that, but they don't really showcase it like that. That was his his gimmick, I guess.
Right.
And it was different. No one else was doing that. But it made him different too. Now he's just another unnecessary Hulk archetype.
I wouldn't
So
say it's an unnecessary Hulk. It's just like I
you
don't
just
think
you
I don't think
named
his
all
character
those
is
different.
unnecessary. Like I wouldn't say his character unnecessary. It's just like not timed right, because it's like right now you're not really pushing his character, and it doesn't have any potential on the big screen. His character has no big screen potential,
No,
right?
I don't think he works as a Hulk. I think Amadeus Cho has potential, but him as a Hulk is kind of a lazy.
It's a
Unless
lazy
there's
way to do it. It's a lazy way to
yeah
go about it.
yeah.
I
If the
think if
story
you're
really called for it, yeah.
I think if you're gonna make Amadeus Cho work, he just has to be behind the scenes, almost like an Oracle, maybe. Maybe not. I don't know.
I'm not. I could see that. No, but yeah,
Is
him.
his character unnecessary? No, but
I don't think so.
it's also where does he fit?
They just can't make him a Hulk. Like the whole computer nerd was thing like that. He was like, I guess Valeria was the first smart kid, but in the early 2000s, he held that mantle like the smart kid. Now I guess it's Lunella Lafayette, Moon Girl, or her Riri. I don't know.
Oh yeah,
It,
Moon
it
Girl.
fluctuates, but that's that was Amadeus's role in the early 2000s.
Right.
So and they don't really. He wasn't an inventor. He didn't invent shit, but he was just very on the fly. Like he would like, man, if I flick this, if I like a little unbelievable, but if I like a Hawkeye or bullseye type stuff, but I flick this quarter here like, at this angle, it'll bounce off this and hit this glass and then shatter it just the right way. Like that's how he would use his intelligence. So I would like them to get back to more of that. Like,
Right. I think it's weird because we put Kate as like almost like the next generation. Wiccan and Hulkling came from the same book. So did like Patriot, Iron Lad, which neither of those characters are gonna make it. I mean, Kate Bishop, Wiccan, and Hulkling probably the only ones from that group. Cassie Lang.
yeah, I'm kind of shocked that she's kind of fallen into obscurity.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm trying to think where's she been, bro? We gotta get her back in here.
And when they first came on the scene as the Young Avengers, like I kind of thought she was going to be one of the staples just because all the other characters were essentially new characters. Like they had been retconned into existence, but we
Right.
had seen Cassie in the pages of Avengers as a young kid visiting her dad, like so we knew of Cassie. Everyone else was kind of like, yeah, they've been around, but it was our first time seeing. Young Avengers #1 wasn't Cassie's first appearance. That's like
Right.
the only Young Avengers member that's not the first appearance is in the Young
Right.
Avengers.
But also like the state of her character throughout that story was not one to really draw that much audience to. I mean, she was just grieving for the majority of the time. I mean, her father.
Yeah, that picked up shortly after, right after Avengers disassembled.
Yeah.
And yeah, and I don't know. I just always felt like she would be one of the staples. So it's just odd to see years later how she's kind of what, like you said, what is she doing? No one know. Like she's in such obscurity right now, character limbo.
Right.
Which is weird, especially when she's supposed to be in the upcoming Ant-Man and Wasp movie.
Well, also there's an Ant-Man miniseries that's gonna be going on that Al Ewing's doing, and each Ant-Man is a different one. Like each issue is a different Ant-Man character.
Huh. Whoa, wasn't there I think he's from Bangladesh. He was Ant-Man, or was that Giant Man? Al Ewing had created him, I believe.
Yeah. He'll be in the 5th issue of this one.
Okay.
Which I'm excited to see. You know how I feel about Al Ewing. He's one of my favorites. But
Yeah.
it's also like if you get Al Ewing, you get him, and if you don't, he doesn't care.
Yeah, he's definitely swings for the fences, and sometimes they go out of the park. Sometimes they land. They don't land.
Right.
They land.
Yeah. So those two guys. Other than that, we got Miles. Miles should honestly be Amazing Spider-Man at this point. So in 10 years,
Years.
he really should just be Amazing Spider-Man. Peter has really just worn out his welcome, and it's like, I don't know. I think the more you keep Peter in this role where he's like still trying to figure it out, the more you're hindering his character. Because like you're running out of stories. And making Miles ASM, give Peter like the role to where he can care about Miles. That's what I really enjoyed from Spider-Man. I know not a lot of people like Spider-Man, but seeing Peter almost like caring about Miles, some kid, to show him the ropes, right? And
that would be like,
that was just so cool. And we need it. I just want more of that type of.
and it's like he could be that father figure that he kind of. I mean, he did have Uncle Ben and shit, but you know he lost him in high school, so it's like he always felt like he was always an orphan in an aspect. When his parents, he didn't have when he was younger, and then when he even in high school, like he wasn't officially a man when he lost his Uncle Ben. So he could be that for he always was kind of lacking guidance in a sense growing up, certain degrees, but he could be like you said, he could be that for Miles. Like I could make him the better he can make him a better Spider-Man than I ever was by coaching this kid that I didn't have when I was coming up with Spider-Man.
Right. Miles would just bring so much swagger to comics too. It's like, imagine like how much of Miles' fan base stems from outside of comic books, right? The video games, Edge of Spider-Verse, all the merch. I guarantee you see more Miles Morales merch selling than Peter Parker right now. I'll put that bet up there right now.
Because I think that's who kids view as Spider-Man, is Miles Morales.
Make him ASM. That's how you get kids back into comic books. You can use the same rogues gallery. That does not have to change. And you can use them in a way that's more refreshing than just recycled Doc Ock, recycled whatever stories, recycled Mephisto stories, recycled right to the point where you even have to make up a villain that's really a character from the Spider-Man universe that we were close with. Come on, Kindred. But it's like, you can really do some cool stuff with Miles.
No, I agree.
Like Miles versus the Hobgoblin. Great. Perfect.
He still hasn't hit his peak yet, so.
No, he hasn't. He hasn't. And the more that he's acting second to Spider-Man in the comics, the more you're just hindering both of those characters.
I think fans, they're ready for a grown-up Peter Parker.
I'm ready for it, I would. It's not like you're retiring him at all, right? Don't get that in it. It's just not his time anymore. It's just not. And I love Peter, but he's been around since 1963. I don't really think he represents the average American citizen the way Miles does, and what Miles stands for, what Miles is going for. It's more reflective of the modern day American who is not white. Let's keep that in mind too. The average American is not 100% white like Peter Parker.
Yeah.
Right? There are more people who look up to Miles and identify right now, like you said, than Peter, right? And that's just the way that time is going, and Marvel should definitely adapt to that as soon as possible.
And it sucks. That's kind of partly of why Bendis left Marvel for DC, is because they wanted to change Miles to Miles Morales Spider-Man, because at the time when Bendis was writing, it was just Spider-Man. That was his deal. I was like, I want, he's Spider-Man. Don't put his name in front of him. Make him one of the Spider-Man. He's Spider-Man right now, because Peter Parker was like running Parker Industries at the time. He was like doing this James Bond thing all around the world, which was cool.
With Mockingbird.
Yep. It's dating Mockingbird. That was actually kind of a cool relationship.
That was a dope relationship.
Yeah, I liked it. I'm not gonna lie, but that was his thing. He was like, Spider-Man's, iconic Spider-Man's in New York. That's Miles. Miles will handle the New York stuff. He will be the Spider-Man, while Peter's off doing his international thing, his Batman Inc. stuff. Just for people who've read Batman.
Right.
But yeah, I feel him why he left, because Miles is Spider-Man. Don't put his name in front of him. Like, why do you guys do that? We know, it's almost become a branding thing, because people do reference him as Miles Morales. I mean, which is fine, actually, because it's instead of the Black Spider-Man or something like that, Which Black Spider-Man would be fine too, but the fact that they recognize him as his, an own individual with his name, that's cool. But still, you could do that without putting that in his title. Like, just let him be. People who read the book will know. Yeah, if they read the book, they'll know that's Miles Morales.
Every Spider-Man book is a Peter Parker book, just like every Spider-Man will be a Miles Morales book.
Exactly.
At the core of it, you're not putting on a cowl and becoming Batman, and then you're Bruce Wayne, and then you're Batman. You're not doing that. You are the same person through and through that book, all 32 pages plus the ads. That is Miles Morales. Miles Morales cover to cover. If he puts on the suit, it does not make a difference.
That guy. No, I agree. Right. Real quick, a character from the Young Avengers that he's in limbo too, but Eli, he's
bust.
Like, right? What happened to him?
What happened? He got arrested Civil War. And I don't remember what happened after. I don't think.
And then there was a different Patriot. Like, he's like
he flies around in a hoverboard. On Gillen's Young Avengers, he wasn't on that team, so it's like I don't.
Who? Is it Eli?
It was no Gillen's Young Avengers. He was not. Eli was not on the team. Bajor was not on the team, bro. Because
there was I don't know what he's in, but I seen he was in a cartoon. So, but I know he's I think he showed up in Secret Empire, but he's his name's like, you know what I'm talking about, the Patriot that has the shield hoverboard he flies around on.
Yeah, I just don't like that book.
I mean, I don't know. Not Secret Empire, but the character. I was like, why are you guys having this new character take over it? Like, why? Just call him something else. What happened to Isaiah? Like, he's tied to a super soldier. Let him be Patriot. I don't know. So they're both in limbo now because I don't know who that new character is, and Isaiah Bradley had no need to be written off, but bring him back. I liked him and Kate's relationship. Or they're that, I mean, they didn't really go anywhere with it.
What really relationship? He took her. He was a complete asshole.
Not really. I mean, they were young though, but they're like each other's first little like thing. Like, he was no more of an asshole than Noah was.
And Marvel Boy.
Novar.
But
yeah,
there's a difference. He was from space. What the fuck?
In an alternate reality.
Still,
she dated Speed. He's just like Quicksilver, so I'm sure he's a prick. Just a teenager, which would probably make him a little worse. Yeah, so you know what? Her taste in men is questionable. So I say, you know what? Eli, I keep saying his grandfather Isaiah, but Eli, I want them back.
Well, speaking of wanting back.
Oh, hold on, I just real quick. And because it was a cool trope, because you know how Clint and Cap would kind of butt heads because Clint would always kind of call Cap on his shit. You kind of had them going at it, Kate and Eli would kind of butt heads as who wanted to be leader, because Eli wanted to be leader, but Kate was really the better leader. So it was cool, like that reverse, like Hawkeye.
Yeah. No, bro, like I'm with that. Who is somebody that you want to do well that you don't think is going to? But who would you think like this is a character I would love to see like blow up, but probably won't.
Young Wise?
Yeah, Young Wise. I got mine. Actually, I got two.
Honey Badger. Who's going by Scout? Gabby.
Scout. She's not on my radar.
I like her because she shouldn't work because she's a clone of a clone, but she does because we don't get to see that too much with their characters. Like usually like the Wolverine types are very feral and morose characters, very in their heads. Like, Gabby was very about enjoying life and like to experience things.
She was just a bubbly person.
Yeah, very bubbly person, and she shouldn't be. She came from a messed up background, just like the rest of the Wolverine archetypes. But she still has, she's a very optimistic outlook. I like that. Like, you know, it could easily. That's why I like those characters. Like Wolverine could easily give in and be a bad guy at the end of the day, but he fights against that. Gabby could easily just be emo and depressing, but she fights against that. She's too sent. You know, once again, she's clone of X-23. She'd be X-23 with just one claw.
Yeah.
I don't know. It seems like they've been trying to. I like her name. I like her as Honey Badger. I think that's so dope. I don't like the name Scout. I think that's very simple.
Honey Badger's dope. It's different. It's cool.
Yeah, it's different, and it fits with it fits like because Honey Badgers are known for being small but savage, and that would fit her character like, and it fits her personality. Like it just you hear honey, but
and
you think of
Badger,
right?
It's like think twice.
But I feel like they've tried to write her off a little bit recently, like almost kill her. So that's why I don't think she might hit like that. But she could, if someone really writes her, she could. But that, like I said, she's different from every Wolverine character because she's funny and optimistic. But another character, young wise, we're talking young next gen.
Yeah, next gen.
I've always been a big fan of the Iron Lad.
Really?
In costume. I don't know if he could work because of the whole time continuity thing and I don't know. I think because they brought the kid back, he's very small role, but the kid from Iron Man 3, Harley Reid or whatever was introduced a few months ago, if they developed him into like an Iron Lad, I think that would be kind of cool. If he had some connection to like Iron Man,
right,
and he became a form of Iron Lad, that'd be kind of cool. But yeah, Iron Lad and Honey Badger.
A character that I really want to do well that I know will not go anywhere is Dust. I love Dust. I think Dust is such a cool character, but I just don't see her doing a whole lot when X-Men are struggling for attention right now in the comics.
Why? I mean, why not? What do you mean? Like as a solo or being on a team?
I think it's hard for any X-Men character to make a team and to stay on it.
Okay.
Especially when you have you have 7 books, but each book is kind of formatted for how they want that book to go, right? If you look at the way like Marauders was formatted or Excalibur, or even like X Factor. I mean, Dust was not really picked. She wasn't really around, She probably appeared like, oh yeah, she's just here. But she didn't really do anything, and she's a cool character, So it's like,
let me change one of my vote. You talking about Dust had me thinking of someone.
All right, who you got, bro?
Pixie.
That was my number 2.
I knew you were gonna say that. That's why I had to take it.
Number 2. You had to take Pixie. Fine. I mean, another one I'd still like to see succeed. This is more like big screen. I definitely want to see Magic work her way into to the X-Men crew as more of a leader. I would love to see that happen. I feel like
it's time.
I think if there's ever like a dark X-Men, like just call it like dark X-Men, almost like a Justice League Dark, right?
They had dark X-Men before. It was short.
Yeah, but just let Magic run the show.
Yeah.
Right. Just give her something that's not the New Mutants, because she's not. I don't think she should be.
She's grown past that anymore. Yeah. She's You know the X-Force, Yos and Kyles?
Yeah.
She would be a perfect fit for something like that because she'll do what's necessary,
Exactly, bro. And then she is one of those people that does not mind going across the edge or stepping over that line, and she's great at kind of bringing out the potential in other people. She's friendly. I think she's very visually appealing.
Yeah.
Great work ethic. There's nothing to not like about Magic. Other than that she can kind of be a little bit of a drama queen sometimes with the wedding.
Yeah.
But other than that, I want her to be an A-list character. I really do. I want her to take that next step.
I feel like she's not a next gen, but since we're talking about X-Men characters, you got me thinking of Chamber and Phantom X. Those are 2 characters I will, if I ever get a chance to write X-Men, they would probably be on my X-Men team. I think they're just both visually really cool, and they just have Chamber just looks awesome, and his power set is very underrated. And Phantom X, just cool, bro. I'm gonna have to go. Maybe he's not as cool as I could remember, but it's like I've read him outside of Morrison's. I've read him more recently than Morrison's New X-Men, so I know it hasn't been like 20 years since I've read him.
Uncanny X-Force.
Yeah, so Humphreys. He was in Spurrier's X-Force.
Yeah,
that was cool. But yeah, I think Phantom X is really cool. I like the fact that he'll do like some of the craziest stuff, like high risk, high pressure stuff, but he is never pressured. You never see him worrying or anything like that. He's always playing it cool for the most part. Like he's someone like Wolverine you would want in your corner. Like, okay, this guy can handle pressure and he gets results.
Right. No, I agree 100% with that, man. Other X-Men characters, I mean, I definitely want to see Daniel Moonstar blow up. I really do. I think that would be great.
Does Daniel have her powers?
Huh?
Does she have her powers back?
Yeah, she got her powers back in the comics. I mean, because she got reincarnated, or she got reborn, or she died and came back. They get their.
Was she the one that participated in the tournament? Or that okay, who? Okay.
No, that was Karma.
That's what I thought. Okay, that was
Karma. Yeah, that was Karma, I believe. That's a good question, though.
But Danny does have her powers back for sure, though.
Yeah, she does.
Okay.
She does, bro.
She's proven herself numerous times.
I want to see Dazzler still step up. I want to see Spider-Gwen start doing some cool stuff. I want them to take her character past what Jason Latour did. I know they gave it to who did they give it to? Someone that was McGuire.
Sean McGuire?
Yeah, and it was not that good.
Yeah.
It was not that good at all. But I hope that she's a bright future too.
No, she's Spider-Gwen's not going anywhere, bro. But they need to. I don't know if Ghost Spider really. It doesn't. I don't know. She's it's that weird situation where, yes, people are acknowledging Grogu as Grogu, but he's still known as Baby Yoda. That's kind of her situation where no matter what name they're gonna give her, she's always gonna be kind of known as Spider-Gwen, and Grogu's always gonna be kind of. Huh?
She's always Spider-Gwen.
No, they call her like Ghost Spider.
Yeah, but to me, she's Spider-Gwen.
No, exactly. That's why I sometimes refer to Grogu as Grogu, but he's Baby Yoda in my head. That's what Baby Yoda is. That's what he started out as.
Right on, bro.
But yeah.
But yeah, guys, make sure you guys drop a comment. Who are some characters that you have on your radar to blow up within the next few years? Some other characters that you may enjoy. Did we snub anybody from this discussion?
We probably did.
We probably did.
We can't get everybody, but
I think as long as we get like 80%, I think that's a good minimum.
Yeah.
80%, yeah, guys, make sure y'all catch Rock and Robbie live tonight, because we are all going to be on talking about Ms. Marvel episode 1. So join us to close the curtains for that. Other than that, we got Dylan's Horror Show. We got Fable's got you covered. We got Blame Fable. We got Manny's Different Perspectives. Shamaro Cinema doing his thing. We got Nick always dropping 2 videos on Wednesdays. We got Herm doing his hauls. We also have an amazing collected edition show coming out soon, so stay tuned for that. Also,
I got a pitch for in case Robbie sees this. Robbie, naming the show, Picking Your Marvel with Miss Marvel.
Okay.
Yeah, it's gold. I know. It's just hitting you. It's washing over you right now.
I don't know how to think about that. I don't know what to but other than that, yeah, we got Nick dropping 2 videos, and stay tuned for a random Brother Joe live every now and again where he may sing, and Dylan's Horror Show every Saturday night. You guys should know the schedule by now. You guys probably know more about that than me. But anyway, you guys, thank you so much for your time. Make sure y'all give a like, subscribe. More content coming soon, you guys. Take care. Station.